What's up, y'all? So this video is going to be about reparations, HR40, and why I tweeted President Trump. Before we get into all that, I want to send a huge shout out to everybody that watched the last video called The Cain and Abel Effect. If you haven't seen that, I will put a link in the description. I want to thank everybody that checked it out, all the comments, and all the feedback I got was great. And yeah, like I always say, if you guys have anything that y'all want to talk about or you want me to discuss, just let me know. I'll put all my contact info in the description. I'm also going to put my Amazon shopping list in the description. It's just a bunch of books that I intend on buying and intend to read. So if you want to help support the channel and the making of these videos, send me a gift of a book. That'd be great, and it'd be greatly appreciated. Give me more ideas and stuff to talk about on these videos. And the last thing before we get into the actual video, in honor of Earth Day, I think I'm actually going to drop another video after this. So stay tuned for that. I will have the links to everything in the description. Alright, so let's talk about reparations real quick. The definition of the word reparation means the making of amends for a wrong one has done by paying money to or otherwise helping those who have been wronged. The compensation for war damage paid by a defeated state. As you can see, some synonyms for the word are amends, restitution, redress, compensation, atonement, repayment. So basically, reparations is repayment to an affected party for damage done. This usually has to do with war. So the example of reparations that most people are probably familiar with is for the Holocaust. The Jews got like $250 million from Germany for World War II and the Holocaust. But there are other instances. If you check this Vox article out, it goes over a few times where reparations were paid out, and there's actually a few times that America paid reparations. So like there was the Holocaust that just passed, apartheid in South Africa, Japanese internment. This is one time when America paid Japanese Americans reparations. Forced sterilization of black people was another time. The Tuskegee experiment. You guys should probably definitely check this article out. It gives you a lot of insight on the history of reparations, and especially when it comes to the treatment of black people in America. So HR40 was introduced to look into reparations for slavery in America. You guys can look this up on congress.gov. I'll read the summary here real quick. So HR40 has been introduced to address the fundamental injustice, cruelty, brutality, and inhumanity of slavery in the United States and the 13 American colonies between 1619 and 1865, and to establish a commission to study and consider a national apology and a proposal for reparations for the institution of slavery, its subsequent de jure and de facto racial and economic discrimination against African Americans, and the impact of these forces on living African Americans, to make recommendations to the Congress on appropriate remedies and for other purposes. So basically, this bill has been introduced to set up a group of people to investigate and take account of all the ways that the U.S. government has been complicit in crimes and injustice for Black Americans. There's a few caveats to the bill, a couple things that I can see possible points of contention. One being that it specifies African Americans. I think that is something that needs to be addressed because that implies that you'd be able to prove African descent. If you caught my other video, The Black Man in America, I briefly discuss the evidence that suggests that there have been black people in America before the slave trade. These are Native Americans, but they're not the typical Native American people that you would think of when you hear that term. These are people with dark complected skin, kinky hair, negroid features, who were victims of slavery in America, but who did not get to America by way of transatlantic voyages. So the bill talks about how they're going to give $12 million to a committee of people to figure out what is due, who would qualify for it, and how to implement it. So, being that I am a Black American, I decided to tweet Donald Trump and ask him to consider adding me to the commission to figure this stuff out. I don't really expect to hear from him. I said that I have attributes that make me especially qualified. I don't really know what that would be, but I figured, what's the worst that can happen? They'll probably never see the tweet and never tweet me back. But so the point of me making this video is more so to talk about the aspect of reparations. Like, when I talk to people, I usually get a couple of similar responses. One is that people do agree that reparations are due and would be fair, but they don't really think that it is possible, or they don't understand, how exactly would the government, or how would we come up with the means to repay this debt. The other response that I get is that black people if we did receive reparations, we're not really equipped to make use of the reparations in a responsible way. The people that have this response have the sentiment that if checks are issued, or however the reparations end up being distributed, what will most likely end up happening is we will just lose those reparations back to the greater society, and that it would all be basically just a waste of time and money. I tend to I understand both of those views, and I think that they both make logical sense, but the whole purpose of this bill is to discuss the best ways to implement a program for repayment. Reparations have historically involved cash payment, but that's not the only form of recompensation. And this bill is more or less trying to figure out, what do we need and what do we want. And so I felt like, instead of waiting to hear what they're going to offer, we as a people should we should come up with the demands. We shouldn't wait to hear what they're going to offer. We should tell them what we want, allow them to counter offer, and then decide, do we accept the offer, or do we continue to negotiate, or do we leave the table. I feel like a lot of the issues we have is just, this is not just black people, this is just people in general. A lot of times we just wait for somebody else to come up with a solution for us, rather than being proactive and figuring out ways to help ourselves. So one last thing I wanted to share is, if you're interested in learning more about the data, like statistics and whether or not reparations are actually due, there's a few people that I follow on YouTube. You can search the hashtag ADOS, which stands for American Descendants of Slaves. Tone Talks is good. I also watch Yvette Carnell. She has a web series called Breaking Brown that I watch often. I also watch Dr. Boyce Watkins. Tone and Yvette present the case for reparations. They are more based on the facts, why reparations is necessary, why it's deserved. And then Dr. Boyce Watkins, he is more solutions oriented. He talks about what to do with the how to be financially responsible, how to be business savvy, how to raise entrepreneurial minded children. I think that both parts are necessary, and so I try to instead of taking sides, I try to take information from all perspectives to make the best choice. So yeah, check out ADOS on all your social media, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and you'll find lots of information. All right, so that's what I think you need to know about reparations and HR40. Definitely do some more research on that, and let me know what you guys think in the comments. Again, no, I don't really think that President Trump will even see the tweet, but I don't know. I mean, maybe y'all can retweet that shit and get in front of his eyes, and maybe we can actually affect some change. But whether he does or doesn't, the most simple thing that anybody can do to make a difference in this matter is to just be educated about it. This video and these measures are targeting specifically black people in America, but the ripple effect that it will have in capitalistic society will affect all people in all classes. So, I personally feel that reparations is necessary. I don't think it has to be just money. I don't think it has to be land. I think that what we have right now is an opportunity to tell the people in charge exactly what it is we want, what we feel we need, and how they can make that happen for us. So, will it all work out in the end? Nobody. I don't really know. I can say that looking at the history, it's probably unlikely, but it doesn't hurt to it doesn't hurt to know. It doesn't hurt to be educated about shit, and it doesn't hurt to take a chance in most cases, especially in this case. So yeah, look into reparations, look into HR40, and let me know what y'all think. I'm probably going to drop another video today for Earth Day, so watch out for that. Make sure y'all leave me a like if you feel it. Subscribe to the channel. Leave comments. Let me know. Again, I'm interested to hear what your guys' take is on all of this. And any other ideas you think are worth discussing. So thanks again, and I will talk to y'all again later. Peace.